Never really done a Corvette video. I've had this car for a little over a year, and as I was washing it today on a really nice February 3rd day, 50 degrees out, I kept thinking to myself, I really don't modify this car very much. And then I started adding up what I have modified on this car, and I just wanted to walk around and kind of show you. So even if you don't modify your car, you're going to modify your car with a Corvette. This is mild by a lot of people's standards in the Corvette community, but here's one of the most important things I've ever done on here. These are scrape armor radiator guards. So that little like honeycomb right there, these are able to be put on from the factory. Now, they weren't when I got mine, so I had to also buy some race ramps so I could drive up and on the race ramps and put it on myself. They're pretty important because your radiator behind there, you see how it's dinged up? That's not from the miles after these were put on. That was one from the ones before it. And this car has 10,000 miles. I think it was about 5,000 miles by the time I got these put on. So there's that. The other big thing I did on here, very important, is that this is PPF. This is Expel 10 mil PPF, so it's the thicker of the PPF film that you can put on. It's on the entire car. The car also has ceramic coat on top. So everything painted, the transparent roof on it, that all has it on there. The other thing, I just recently got this. This is from AMT Customs. This is a frunk cover. So I did the custom design, kind of told them what I wanted, and they ran with it. It's the carbon ceramic paint, which matches this here, carbon flash metallic, excuse me. And then I wanted red and I wanted blue and a Corvette logo on there. So then going around here, these are stock wheels. I love the red line look on these. I went with the red calipers on here. I learned really quickly that these can add up when you start adding prices. You see I think they're originally $69,000 for the base Corvette, which is a heck of a car, but when you start adding stuff on there, it starts adding up quickly. The big thing that got me from a 1LT to a 3LT, which is what this is that I really wanted one thing in particular, and that is tension blue interior. This is dark blue, light blue, and I'm probably the only person in the world who loves the chrome. And the reason why is I have a 1965 Oldsmobile. It was my grandfather's, and it is this same interior color. It's a little less of a bright blue on there, but it is dark blue, like a brighter blue, and a lot of chrome. So I kind of probably am the only person. The reason why I love this so much is it kind of echoes a modern version of my 1965 Oldsmobile. So here's another thing. Here's from AMT also. These are sill covers. So the original one's chrome, and they tend to get scuffed up. So I got these. I won these actually from the Vet Syndicate guys, which is really cool. And they worked out perfectly for the color combination because I do love the red. I do have a little bit of white in here, so red, white, and blue kind of color combo. Went with the blue seat belts. Those are extra cost. it's amazing how you can customize these. But I also have a Pro Clip phone mount there, and that holds my iPhone magnetically in place, because otherwise you'd have to put it right there. And if you want to dislocate your shoulder, by all means do that. Then it also has a blend mount radar detector cover, and in my 30 plus years of driving, I've never had a radar detector sit exactly where I want it. And then plus you can tap right into your existing wiring without any kind of splicing. It just plugs right in, and you can wire it right into your mirror there. So when you start it up, it turns right on, and it's really, really convenient. WeatherTech mats, they Jake mats or whatever the version from GM were not available at the time. So I really didn't mind because I've been dealing with WeatherTech since they weren't even called that in 1992. So I was glad to get those. The car's named the Defiant, Star Trek reference, and part of the Corvette Club, Western Pennsylvania. My uncle was a really active member back in his day with that club, and it was kind of nice. I went there and they seemed like a very nice group of people, so I joined. Haven't been too active, but I'll try to be that way in the coming year here. This car has a transparent roof, and I'm not a fan of cars without sunroofs, and I didn't want to get a convertible, but this is less claustrophobic to me, and it's I didn't realize it's tinted blue. All of them are, so if you get an orange car, it's tinted blue. So this kind of really went nicely with the color combination on here. Then the only other things like here, this is a factory GM engine cover, but there's a guy out of Florida who does these, and I wanted the factory one, and my dealer would put it on because it was factory. They didn't mind it. So during PDI, I sent this to them a couple days before it arrived, and they put it on. It's rapid blue, red, and then I wanted the white letters. That's carbon fiber inlay with the white Corvette on there, and to me that is just, it kind of makes the car, it's like this engine's jewelry in this car. That's why I really wanted a coupe anyway. The other thing there, you have to take my word for it, there is an attack blue air filter on the back. It's good for about 10 horsepower, 11 horsepower. It sounds much louder. This also has a performance exhaust on it. Now this car pretty much has everything for a Stingray other than the Z51 package, and I kind of made a mistake. I kind of outthought myself. I didn't realize that you could get a spoiler delete on a Z51, and I didn't ask my salesperson, and I was so confident what I wanted that he didn't suggest it to me. But this, so this has everything but Z51. It has the black tips, it has the louder exhaust, and then with that attack blue, it sounds a little bit throatier. I'm not really going to be modifying it much. I'm not going to put an aftermarket exhaust on it. I kind of draw the limit on a lot of mechanical stuff, just it's a personal preference. So as you go through, I think that's about all the mods, but for someone who is pretty confident saying, I never modify my cars, I really modified this car. But it's a great car. It's got 10,000 miles as it sits right now. The paint has 0 chips in it. I'll show you something real quick here. Last summer, it sounded like a rifle shot. And I'll see if I can zoom in on this here. But if you see right there, this thing sounded like if you're going down the road and you hear that, you know you've damaged something on your car. A rock came up and hit it really hard. There's no damage underneath. It's hit the PPF. So two schools of thought. Either I can replace that with the hope, the expectation that an exact rock will hit in that exact space, or I'll just let it go. Either way, I don't know. I've been very pleased with, it wasn't exactly the, it's not inexpensive, but it's worth it when you start getting into a car that you put this kind of, investment into and you want to enjoy it. I'm not someone who these days who lets my cars sit. I used to be that guy that I would have parked it in the garage and look at it, and that's okay if you want to do that. I'm not judging. It's your vehicle. You do with it what you want. But in the last year or so, I kept hearing my late uncle was a Corvette fanatic, and he had Corvettes his entire life, which meant that I got to live vicariously through his Corvette fun, because my dad would have none of that silliness of spending that kind of money on a car. My uncle never had kids either, so but he would always kind of get on my case when I would not drive something, or I'd be conservative with what I owned, and he'd say, you got to get something cool. And got to drive it. And I kind of like would roll my eyes, and you know, as you're raising a family and you're wanting to make sure that you have everything set out right, you realize that can't do that all the time. But you know, when I got this for my son and I, mostly to just go and have adventures on, I realized this car, especially with this PPF on it, we're driving it. And so first year, the day before it turned 1 year old, I rolled 10,000 miles on it. So haven't been able to drive it too much because of the weather. Now the weather is getting better and it's out, and we are going to be driving the heck out of it. I want to see how much mileage I can get, if I can do another 10,000 this year or not. Either way, the point is to have fun with it as we do it. And you know, when I look at it, there's nothing on here that I regret, other than maybe not getting the Z51 package with the spoiler delete. But I'm not going to track this car, so really, you know, it's kind of water under the bridge, because I'm never getting rid of this car. My son's claimed it anyway. So hopefully that's something, you know, that if you're looking to get a Corvette, I've talked to people that have wanted to get them, and you know, I knew nothing about them. I just kind of knew I liked them, you know, and then as you start diving into the trim levels on C8s and or any kind of car you're going after, you want to kind of get educated on what you want to get, what you want to modify, and there's no right or wrong answer. But in my estimation, the one thing you need to get, a couple things. You need to get scrape armor, grill inserts, radiator inserts. You need to get a PPF, get the entire thing. It's not the cheapest thing, but ultimately, if you're keeping this car, it's worth it. You know, it does an incredible job of protecting that car. Everything else is personal taste. There's myriad ways to do wheels, factory wheels, aftermarket wheels, and that's what's fun about going to a show with other Corvettes. You'll never see an identical car, and I love that sort of, you know, back in the day, no cars were alike. Now they're pretty much all package jobs, and they're identical. Not here. You can personalize these. So thanks for watching. If you like this, subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and I appreciate it. Have a great day.